What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 3 of Hit the Books, the podcast here to give you all the sports news, sports talk, sports gambling, sports trends, sports coverage, you name it in sports, and we at Hit the Books want to deliver it to you. Do not forget to check us out on our various social media platforms. That link is in the description below. This episode is all about Week 1 of the NFL season, starting this Thursday, and we couldn't be more excited. I see Ace jumping around in his seat over there. I know he's excited. So let's get right to the action. But first, I need to introduce the boys that will join me week in and week out this NFL season to talk each and every game for Jens, the Hit the Books crew, starting off with Tyler Huffnagel. Huff, what is happening, buddy?
What's going on, everyone? Like you said, we officially made it week 1 of the NFL season. NFL starts tomorrow. Not much else to say. Can't wait to get into it. Hand things off back to you, and we can get into the other co-hosts. Get right into it.
Yes, sir. Next up, we have Mike Mackey. Mackey, hope you had a nice Labor Day weekend, buddy. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. You know, Thursday Night Football, first Thursday Night Football of the season tomorrow. Got a nice matchup in the Rams-Bills. Hopefully we can get a playout for that. So, yeah, exciting times in the sports world.
Absolutely. Finally, Alex Ventura, Ace, 2 episodes down. Your third one's up to bat. Looking forward to talking some NFL football with you this season. What do you got for me?
Definitely looking forward to talking some football. I'm actually looking forward to 26 hours from now. We'll be getting the first kickoff of the year. Like Mackie said, we've been waiting all summer for it. So ready to get going, ready to talk some NFL.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump into some headlines in the other leagues real quick. Let's start off in the NHL. First up, we have the Ottawa Senators have announced an 8-year extension with forward Tim Stützle, worth $8.35 million a year. Ace, why don't you start us off with this one?
Yeah, definitely love to see the NHL players getting their due. They've been getting underpaid for a while, so the new names like Stützle getting a big contract actually bodes well for other future stars in the league. I see someone like Jason Robertson, whose rookie deal is expiring. If Stützle can grab that much money, I wonder how much he can grab, especially on the open market. So yeah, it's just great to see the league finally paying some of their top players.
Yeah, I think, like you said, guys in the NHL, I saw this deal and I was like, damn, dudes are getting paid now way earlier than they used to in the NHL. Like, they're locking these young players up. You see guys like Huberdeau and Tkachuk get the deals in the trade and sign situation with them. They got I believe, 9-year, and Huberdeau got a 10-year. You see Stützle sign the 8-year. A lot of these younger players are getting the big contracts and, much deserved, but it's just crazy to see this money. Like you said, they're definitely getting the pay that they've been due for the past couple of years. As you could say, the NHL has been very underpaid. But a guy like Stützle, Ottawa's going to they have a very nice lineup coming into this season. Mackie, I don't know what you want to say about the Senators, but I really like them coming into this year.
I mean, yeah, this team has made a few off-season moves that have put them in the conversation for maybe a playoff position with the young core that they have, at least in the next few years. This is a guy that they're basically surrounding their franchise around and locking him up for 8 more years. I mean, $8 million deal, it's a big deal. So first one we've seen this high from like this young of a guy. So hopefully there'll be more contracts like this to come.
Mackie, what were you saying about Ottawa being good though? Ottawa, more like Ottawa, nah. Ottawa, that's how.
Give them 2 to 3 years. Maybe even this year. I bet you this year they're right outside. They might not make the playoffs because the Eastern Conference is so strong. But 2 to 3 years, they're going to give your Bruins a run for your money.
Ottawa's a team I'm going to be.
They're on the come up, and the Bruins are on the come down.
I love that quote by Mackie though. 2 to 3 years from now, that's what those bad teams are always saying. So we'll see you then.
Yeah,
it's a team I'll be betting on this year. It's a young team. They're gonna be making some people some money this year.
No, definitely. I agree. They definitely have a lot more talent than they do before. I like Brady Tkachuk, but they don't have enough on the back end or goaltending wise to compete with the likes of the rest of that strong Atlantic division.
I think they're a few moves away. That's about it.
Didn't they just get a goalie?
You're supposed to believe in that, huh? You think he's going to beat out Vasilevsky, Swayman?
No, I mean, but like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say they were winning a cup in the next 2 years.
Mackie, that's not what you caught out of that sentence. He goes, "You'd look at the top
goalies." Huff is the only one who caught me.
Vasilevsky and Swayman.
No, I just heard Vasilevsky. Yeah, you can get your bias in all you want, but I think Swayman's not even in that conversation.
He's a rookie that's looking to go far in the future. I feel like he's
I
still
feel like
got
he's
some
been a
time.
rookie for 5 years.
Well, last year was a rookie year.
I don't
Really?
know. What do you think?
So is he
You
still
think
a
he's the next
rookie?
Tuukka Rask?
Is he the next Tuukka Rask? No. Well, he plays like Tuukka Rask. He's a
Meaning,
positionally
is he your
sound
next?
goalie.
Is he your next franchise goalie for the next like 8 years? You think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know about that long. The thing is, Olmark's contract is strange. I think they need to trade him and offload that contract. But if you look at Team USA and like these American goaltenders, Swayman's in that upper echelon of young, up and coming goalies. I think him, Ottinger, and there's another guy I'm forgetting right now, are like the next big
Pottinger's
three
a
American
stud.
goalies.
It's
Yeah,
just ridiculous. Yeah.
they're so young though. Swayman's only like 23 or 24 years old. All these goalies you're talking about that you compare him to are all in their 30s.
Yeah. I mean,
Late
we
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
we
I
saw it
couldn't
with
let that slip. I could not let that slip.
talking about
Bazzi.
top
No,
goalies in
I'm
the
drawing
league.
blanks. So who else? You have Bobrovsky. I think the Leafs have a
I
rotating
mean,
door of
Igor.
above average goalies. No, I'm talking in the
Shesterkin.
Atlantic.
Oh, I
Uh,
was
you
gonna
got-
say you're
yeah, I
forgetting
mean,
the Vezina winner.
Spencer Knight will be he'll be good up for the Panthers in a few years. He'll have that spot
Yeah.
in 2 years at
We got
least.
some time to talk hockey though.
Absolutely. One last point here in the NHL. We saw some players with some jersey advertisements on. Saw the Penguins having Highmark. Can't really name any others off the top of my head, but
Capitals had Caesar's Sportsbook.
Capitals had Caesar Sportsbook. But a couple showing up there at that media day that they had. What do you guys think about that? Mackie, you want to start us off here?
I actually didn't really see much about that. I don't like advertisements on jerseys. I think on the helmet it didn't look good at first. It grew on me. It's all right now, but I don't know. I think it looks a little weird.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I knew it was coming sooner or later, especially once they did the helmet or the helmet ads last year or the year before, whenever they brought that in. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it on the jersey because all that means is I just hope it doesn't get any more than we're already at. They now have the helmet, and if you're not a captain, you have an advertisement right here on the corner of your chest, and it's like the other side. I mean, I don't know. I just think it'll look really stupid, but it's gonna
I
end
mean,
up
yeah,
looking like it fits in. But I don't know.
I mean, as long as it doesn't, you see the jerseys in like Europe and shit, and it's just like overpowering.
It looks
ads all over
ridiculous.
their
It looks
jerseys, and
ridiculous. The
you
NHL
don't,
can never do that.
yeah, you don't want it to end up coming to that. This is just a start, so hopefully this is the end of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the end of it. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. You've seen every other league go that way. I mean, the NBA has it indoctrinated now, season year in year out. It's just a nice way to make up some funds that they lose in other areas. We just talked about those big deals that they're giving to Stutzel and other people. If you bring in more advertisement money in the likes of that, you can start seeing cap go up and pay more players that way. Because I don't know if you guys have seen these deals that they're talking about. Like these deals have been in the works for the NHL for a while. I think it's about like 2.5 to 5 million for just one set of jerseys advertisement. Say you just wanted the home or just the away, it'd be about 2 to 5 million depending on the team in the market for that advertisement alone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a smart thing for the teams to do. Like, it's free money, but I don't know. From a fan standpoint, I don't know many people that are going to be like, yeah, I like how it looks.
If only they can tie them in as well as the NBA does.
Yeah.
Right.
Teams like the Harley Davidson on the Milwaukee Bucks, and
Bucks.
then I think there's a few others that fit well.
Biofreeze in Portland. It's a little one for Jesse.
It's a little weird. A little weird.
Yeah, but
Good
if
on
they
that.
can tie it in and make it look clean on the jersey, I'm not against it.
All right, that's going to wrap up all we got in the NHL tonight. Let's move over to some NBA real quick. The 2K ratings for the video game drop. Well, ratings drop. Players are up in arms about their overalls, not very happy about their results. What do you think, Ace?
It's just the same old, but it's pretty funny to see Kevin Durant complaining again on social media about something else. I'm only a 96. Yeah, that just goes to show you what that locker room in Brooklyn's going to be like this year.
I don't think that was really that serious. But,
Yes
dude,
and
he
no.
said
I mean,
he also said like 99. Like, first of all, there's been like 5 99s in the last 10 years, and he sat out half the season last year. So I don't really think he legitimately thinks he should be a 99. And if he
Yeah,
does,
I don't disagree with you.
It's just him trying to
But
stir a pot, I think.
yeah, I agree with you. But there's a lot of other stars you see all over social media posting actually upset. It's more about those mid-tier guys that are like ranked in the 70s. I think they should be in the mid 80s.
Yeah, high
I
70s
like
and you want to get
I
in the
like
low 80s.
I like when they ask the rookies. They more do this with Madden, but I like
Yeah.
when they ask the rookies. They're like, "What should you be rated?" They're like 81. They're like, "You're a 62." It's like,
Yeah, then there's always someone like, I'm a 99 speed. It's like, all right, buddy, you went in the third round. How about you take a seat and sit the
yeah,
bench?
it's like, yeah, you're a 79 speed. Hit the track.
Good stuff there. Yeah, not too much in the NBA. LeBron James and his son spotted at the Ohio State Notre Dame game this past weekend. Pretty interesting there. Not too
Then
bad.
he had a
What do you
visit.
think, Mackie?
Yeah, Bronny actually posted on Instagram an unofficial visit, I guess. His hashtag was not
Not
committed, but
committed. That was so
not
funny. He was
committed,
like,
yeah.
I have to clarify this. Not committed.
Yeah, he had to let everyone know. But yeah, I guess he toured the program and everything. I mean, you saw that coming, OSU, but
Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
definitely
funny.
saw that coming.
That's funny though.
I think the media loves Bronny. They love
oh my
anything
god,
LeBron
did you
James
hear the
to eat up.
chant?
Yeah,
OSU
we want
literally
Bronny.
the fans had a chant. Imagine that, dude. Like that's insane. And he's sitting
Yeah,
there just ignoring it, not even making a face towards it.
There's a huge football game on between two ranked teams, but instead we're gonna worry about LeBron James.
Yeah, we're
high
gonna have
school
a
son.
Bronny chant, a 17-year-old.
He did look dope in that uniform, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Those Ohio State uniforms are so clean for basketball.
Yeah,
I'd be
they
so
are.
hyped if he goes to some school like that. Not necessarily one of the top
The
pedigree
Blue
schools
Bloods.
for his
He's gonna go to
basketball
like,
itself.
he's gonna go to like Duke.
Yeah, he's gonna go to like.
He's
yeah,
not.
definitely.
I thought he was gonna go to Duke, but I think since Coach K left, I don't think he's gonna go to Duke anymore.
Where's your projection right now, off the rip, Mackie? Where's
I
he
have
going?
no idea. Ohio State. I don't know.
Off?
That's a
I
good
don't really
off the
pay
rip.
attention. I don't really pay attention to like high school basketball prospects. to be
Bronny's
honest.
just so. Other than like UCLA,
That's what
Bronny's-
I was gonna say.
other than UCLA,
Uh,
Braun is just so in with Duke. I think it would be Duke or UCLA.
It was
Yeah, plus-
Coach K though. It was Coach K that he was close with.
LeBron's playing for the Lakers right now. I could see UCLA big time.
Yeah, but I could see him leaving LA. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of up in the air. He could follow his dad. He could do a lot of things.
He's the type of kid to be like, "Oh, my dad didn't go to Ohio State, so I have to like keep that legacy going in Ohio."
Cleveland made. Akron made, I think, actually.
Let's move into some MLB real quick. Aaron Judge hit home run number 55 today against the Twins. He's now 7 away from the record with 26 games remaining for him this season. Very good stuff for Aaron Judge. What do you think, Huff?
I think he's gonna get this record, Mackie. Don't you think?
I mean, I just don't understand why people still pitch him the ball. Like, why are you throwing him strikes? Throw if you're gonna pitch to him, throw it every single pitch outside the zone. I would never throw this guy a pitch down the middle of the plate. Even like on the corners, he's hitting it out. His power is just unmatched.
And the Yankees.
I want to see him.
it is
I
hit
want
the
to see him
fan.
break the record. Yeah, I know he's literally that entire offense right now.
I can't wait until that team fizzles out in the playoffs and then he leaves in the offseason.
Fizzles out. They're hanging on by a thread already.
Yeah, they might not even. It's been a tough past couple weeks for
They'll
the
get
Yankees.
there. They'll
They
get
could
there.
be a wild card team. They actually probably will be.
Ray's gonna win that division.
4 games back right now. Yankees are not anywhere close to being back. Rays are on a tear. I don't know. I just see it trending that way. I think the Mets are going to lose this division too. Braves have complete
Braves.
control.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
was gonna say. I just think the Braves are so hot right now.
I also think the Braves are the best team in baseball. I think they're going to two-peat. So
I think they could repeat too.
Oh, yeah, I was reading a lot about a lot of people liking the Braves again. They're a better team than they are last year, and they have that top 4 pitching.
What's crazy is they lost Freeman, gained Olsen, and they're
yeah.
a better team.
that team is for the next 8 years. They're going to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think they just got Mike Soroka back, or he's coming back this week as well.
yeah, that team's loaded.
Yeah.
All right. Ohtani is the first player with 10 wins and 30 home runs in MLB history.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of just Ohtani. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's I mean, he's gonna break so many records because nobody else does what he does. And I mean, yeah, it's all impressive, but like, how many times can you really be like, oh, he should win MVP because of this? Like, it's
No, I mean,
I don't know. Like, if you're gonna give
Look at-
somebody a player like that MVP every season, then LeBron should have had it from 2012 to 2018. So
exactly.
it would get
Who
really
is going to
repetitive.
win Who is going to win
Judge.
MVPs in baseball?
Aaron
Judge,
Judge.
and
Judge and Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah,
but those are the two
Goldschmidt's
favorites. I
batting
would
like
choose.
Goldschmidt's triple
340 right
crowns.
now.
Goldschmidt's at Triple Crown contention.
Yeah, he's having an unbelievable year.
I
Since
saw
I got
someone.
old
I saw a
age,
pick
too.
for. I saw someone put $5,000 on the Cardinals to win it all.
Dude, that
Pujols'
team is
final season.
insane right now.
What'd you say, Ace?
Pujols farewell tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my favorite player when I was younger.
I had picked him up in fantasy at the beginning of the month, and he's put out like 7 or 8 home runs in August. Well, it's
I'm gonna-
September now, but he's put
I'm
out
in the
8 home runs.
playoffs right now. I'm gonna bye week. I'm not even playing this week. It's hype.
Yeah, I got one more week of regular season.
Yeah, he needs 5 more for 700.
Yeah, and that includes playoffs, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Does
that's
it?
just career home runs.
Hmm.
Right?
I didn't know
700
that.
for who?
For
Pujols, he has 695.
Oh yeah, he'll get that. That counts for playoffs. It's career.
So he needs 5
Yeah,
more.
but like when you think about it in like basketball terms, like LeBron would have 19,000 extra points if you counted his playoff points. I didn't know. I'm just saying I didn't know that they counted.
Yeah, no. I think
playoff
I'm
stats.
saying I think it counts. Ace, are you?
It definitely does.
I think it does.
It's different for baseball because they're home runs and they're not just like buckets.
That's what
but-
I mean. Yeah, it's not just like a 2-point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
like
5
they're,
hours.
they're abnormal. Think about it. When you say career goals in hockey, you include playoff goals. You just
I
talk about
genuinely
playoff
didn't know
runs.
that. I didn't know.
include-
Why do they
I'm
separate it for the NBA then?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, can we get a stat verification in here?
I don't. I actually
postseason
genuinely don't know.
stats.
So.
We can only just ramble on about a certain topic for so long before we actually like know what the fuck's
it
right
up.
and what's wrong.
Statistics in preseason All-Star and playoff games do not count towards a player's totals. That's from Quora, though.
Is that for the MLB?
Good thing this isn't an MLB podcast.
I'm pretty sure. Not thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it doesn't count in playoffs.
I think it does too. I think it's different. I think Mackey's
I
right.
think
I think
it's-
it's different.
I
think it's
think
playoff
it's.
stats.
I'm pretty sure it is. If you think about it, you never hear of like someone hitting like 80 home runs in a season, or like
Exactly,
70 home
he's
runs
right.
in a
It
season.
doesn't
He's right.
count. It doesn't count. That's so weird.
I
So playoffs
It's
are different for all of them.
if you think about it, that actually is really stupid.
I feel like it should count for your career.
What do you say about the NBA though?
Yeah, I feel like that should count for your career.
Dude,
Dude,
LeBron would
LeBron-
have like
Rohan,
58,000 points right now.
Yeah, it's not their fault that they got to the playoffs, huh?
yeah, that's not his fault. He got to the finals 10 years in a row
If anything,
or
it's
whatever
more
it
of an
was.
achievement. So
Yeah.
All right, let's move into some college football. First up, we got Georgia taking the number 2 spot from Ohio State on the AP Top 25 this week after embarrassing number 11 Oregon 49-3 on Saturday.
Our bet at no point. I mean, obviously the final score 49-3. Our bet at no point was a sweat. Georgia was at no point did I even think that was a question. I was actually mad at myself. I didn't take the original spread of 16.5, and I checked it while me and Jesse were watching it. And it went to 19 or 20.5 to win by 21, and I was going to take it there again, and I didn't. Ace, I don't know if you had anything else separate on that game, but I just had our teaser. I mean, we went 2-0 on the weekend, not to pat ourselves on the back, but can't complain about going 2-0, 2 units, but
I think we can.
Ace-
pat
No, I
ourselves on the
definitely
back.
agree with your point. Can't complain at all. We cooked up a great plus odds. It was even or plus 110, something like that on a teaser. First play of the year. You want to play it safe. Week 1, you don't really know what you've got. I was thinking the same thing. I was watching. I was like, damn, this is Georgia, and they're rolling. How did I not?
I was like,
see
I
this
did not
coming?
need to tease Georgia.
But at the same time, it's Oregon, and like they always get misranked, so you don't really want to play with it too much. It's a tough call, but looking at it in hindsight now, it's like, oh, good. Like we could play more. That might be a team that we look to hammer in the future, is my thought.
That Georgia team is absolutely ridiculous, and to lose players like they did on that defensive line, and then to perform like they did is absolutely insane. So that Georgia team is going to have a lot or it's going to prove a lot this year.
You like that tight end? What is he, 6'9"?
Dude, he's huge.
Well,
He's a
6'9",
lineman.
what was he, 270 or something like that?
He's literally a defensive end.
Craziness.
And what's
I wonder if we're
crazy
gonna
is
start seeing him.
there
I
are
wonder if we're gonna start seeing more.
three returning starters on the Georgia defense. 2 of them had turnovers on Oregon's first 2 offensive possessions.
That's a veteran team for you, veteran players. But like I said, you think we're gonna start seeing more of those like 6'9" type players?
Dude, if you start seeing 6'9" tight ends, I mean, you're gonna have to start seeing 6'9" linebackers. Who the fuck's gonna cover these guys?
Yeah, it'd just be reversed. Then you break out the guys that are like 5'6", like JJ Taylor. And they'll be
Yeah,
running
he just runs right around everyone, but he takes one hit and his career's over. He has CTE.
It's just crazy to see these big men that can move. I don't think we've seen something like that in a while.
No. I mean, 10 years ago, it was a freak to be 6'5" and move like that. Now we're seeing 6'8", 270 at the tight end position.
You know what
What are
that
they
means?
giving
It's
these
just
kids,
a
man?
basketball player that wants to put the pads
Yeah,
on.
where are they getting
It's-
these kids from?
You're
They're stealing
breeding
from
and
the
you're
NBA
giving them
programs.
something from birth.
That's unreal. Yeah, but Georgia, they're legit. Again, it's going to be Alabama, Georgia.
I think it is too, 100%. I don't think Ohio State has it this year either.
That first game, they looked. I mean, you had.
I just
know
don't
you
think-
guys took Notre Dame. We took Notre Dame too. So,
I just don't think that Notre Dame is very good, and Ohio State didn't really do much to that team. I mean, I think it was a pretty even game to say the least. I think they're obviously the better team, and they came out on top as they should have, but I don't think either of those teams are top 5 teams in the country.
Let's hold our breath a little bit, though. Obviously, Georgia, Alabama, everybody loves, but it's only week 1. We haven't seen them like matched up with other people yet. Let's see like the likes of Texas A&M and other teams how they fare against those Georgia and Alabama top dogs.
I'm excited to see Florida. I think Florida is going to be a very nice team this year.
I
Great
want to throw a
comeback win by
futures
them
bet
the other
on
day
that.
on that Hail Mary. Was it Hail Mary they went on?
No.
I didn't watch the game. I know Mackey. Someone texted, "Do we like Utah?" And I
on the
just said,
final
"I don't
four.
like." I just said, "I don't like the SEC against the Pac-12."
That was such a good game, and honestly, Utah blew it. But that Florida quarterback is elite, and he's him.
Mhm.
So
That's what I'm saying, though. But it's so sketchy that it took them that much just to get by Utah. It's like,
They're just
Why?
so good
Utah's
on
a
their.
7.
They're so good
They're
on their
ranked
home field.
7.
yeah, but they're not. Utah isn't. They're ranked that highly,
They're a
but
Pac-
they're not
it's
like
Pac-12. Like Pac-12
SEC
ranked teams are
team.
different.
Come on. SEC.
I'm pretty sure
ACC.
they were the 6th seed last year and absolutely murdered whoever played in the bowl game.
All right, I'll just like to see how Florida does against Alabama and Georgia, but it is exciting to have another good SEC team out there.
Good stuff. And quickly here, last point in the college football world. Pat McAfee will be joining College Game Day as an analyst as part of a new multi-year agreement with ESPN. McAfee will now be a full-time member of college football's premier pregame show beginning this Saturday, September 10th, as Alabama will visit the University of Texas. So good news for a guy here out of Pittsburgh and WVU. So lots of good stuff there for Pat. He's been killing it lately.
Hoff, it's nice to see your boy, fellow Yinzer, get his due, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's fucking killing it. I mean, I listen to his show every day, if not every other day, like 4 out of 5 times a week. I'm listening to him. I mean, he's the man. He's just so fucking entertaining. And like Yinzer to Yinzer aside, I know you want to hear me use that term, but
Jesus.
I mean, he's the fucking man. Like he is adding value to everywhere he goes. You look at his show and what he's done over the past five years with his show and the amount of fame that he's gotten himself. He's with big companies like the WWE, you know, announcing and doing WrestleMania and SummerSlam, all these huge events, 2-0 in sanctioned matches, as he always says. But now you see ESPN coming after him on a massive long-term deal. The dude just brings value wherever he goes, and I'm happy to see him do it. Ace, I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's not surprising to me to see someone like Pat McAfee get this type of deal because if you think about it, his podcast generates so much attention. I have friends that have never listened to podcasts downloading apps just so they can listen to him talk. His social media content, people are attracted to him. They like what he has to say.
He does everything so differently. Like he always says, I've never been scared to give my opinion. I've never had an issue doing this or this. He truly does it his own way. And That's why he got to the top so fast.
Yeah, like the thing is, he's the people's champion. If you think about it, he's from a hardworking town like Pittsburgh. It's a tough area. He's went to Morgantown, so he's just like everybody else. You've seen him chug a beer. You've seen him play on the football field. So he's somebody people can look up to and have a good time talking sports with.
Mackie, you ever listen to him?
Honestly, no. I'm not
He's
a big
crazy.
like.
I
I
love
don't
him.
know. I don't really like.
I
just, like,
rip
turn
his
on Pat
episode.
McAfee
I
show,
just
you know?
rip.
Like,
I'm like,
you listen to it every morning when you go to work, do you not?
yeah.
It's like a
Not
perfect-
even
it's
on my
like
ride. I
perfect
listen to
time.
it when I'm sitting in my office. Like I just sit it. I just have it on.
Yeah. I don't know. I just not. I don't know. No, not really.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Well, you're missing out,
Mackie.
Mackie.
Hold
He's
on.
one of the most elite minds in the sporting world.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
you're wrong.
FanDuel got him on. That's why ESPN got him on. That's why Barstool got him on. Everybody
He really is. That's why he left Barstool. He's like, fuck this. You don't have a check big enough for me.
Come on, he's friends with
Good
AJ
for
Hawk.
him.
That's his boy.
Have you heard the Peyton Manning story?
Yeah.
Look it up.
That's a dude. He's just his show with like the cast he has. I don't know. AJ, I like AJ too. How he's just like so monotone and comes on the show. But yeah, McAfee to College Game Day, back to College Game Day. I should add, he was on it a couple years ago. Going to be electrifying this Saturday. Bama, Texas. He's going to be there.
Good stuff out of the college football world. Let's run through our NFL headlines quickly here, and then we'll get into our Week 1 analysis. First up, the Pittsburgh Steelers have named free agent acquisition Mitch Trubisky their Week 1 starting quarterback. Huff, what do you think about this?
I think this is something we all saw coming, but not really. I'm not really too upset about it. Like I said, I kind of came to the realization that this was going to be what was going to happen. It's going to be Mitch's team to start. You saw him get the captain put on his chest. I think it was last week the Steelers announced their captains. Once he was named the captain, it was kind of given that he was going to be a starter. Your backup quarterback can't be a captain. That's just not a good vibe for the whole team. But I don't know. I think this could be a great situation for Pickett to kind of learn. Steelers have kind of a front-heavy schedule. I know we have teams like the Jets in Week 4 at home. But first 2 weeks, you have a tough game again in Cincinnati, and then you come home and you go to play the Mac Jones and the Patriots on your home field. It's going to be a tough start for the Steelers. We'll have to see what Trubisky can do, though.
Yeah, my immediate thought on that is Mitch Trubisky taking over on the helm. This team wants to win right now. So they're going to see if Trubisky can actually do that, the veteran QB. They think they have enough pieces around him that he can game manage and win. Also, I think right away, like, ew, Mitch Trubisky is the captain of the offense. But then you think the offense doesn't really drive the team. You just need a signal caller. That team is led by their defense. I think Trubisky at the helm is a good play because Kenny Pickett, even though he was picked in the first round, not the biggest quarterback prospect in the world. So maybe you let him learn on the bench a little bit, see what Trubisky can give you, and see if he can lead this veteran squad back to the promised land of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you worded that pretty perfectly. I think you're obviously going to give him the opportunity to win this rollover. And I do think he'll be on a little short of a leash, though. You know, you have a young guy you draft in the first round right behind him. So you lose those first 2 games, you don't even stand a chance in either of them. And maybe you turn to your first-round draft pick. But, yeah, I think they have the faith in Trubisky to get it done right now and see what they can do in the future with Kenny Pickett.
MVP.
I totally forgot that he was that Nickelodeon thing. That was so funny.
First ever, I think.
Yeah.
We got the slime games back this year. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. One more point for the Steelers. They do not leave the Eastern time zone for their entire season. Every one of their games will reside in the Eastern time zone. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's like crazy.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
I didn't even think that was like possible. That's crazy. They don't even go to the other to the middle of the country. Dallas is a different time zone. You don't even go to Dallas.
Right.
You don't go to Houston.
I'm trying to think of the teams we even play that are out of our time zone. Most of the teams are over here. We're playing the NFC South this year.
Alrighty, next up, the New York Jets have named Joe Flacco their Week 1 starter. Flacco will face the team that he won a Super Bowl with, the Baltimore Ravens, in Week 1. Going to be an interesting matchup there. The Jets and the Ravens. The Ravens, I think, stomping on the Jets. But what do we think? Mackie, you want to start off with this one?
Mackey's itching right now to bet the Jets +7 on Sunday.
No, I absolutely hate the Jets, and all my friends that are Jets fans are actually delusional year in and year out, thinking they're always like, yeah, we're gonna sit around 7 or 8 wins, maybe find a playoff spot with a win here or there. But I'm like, you guys win 3 to 4 games every single year.
Zach,
I don't know
Zach
what's gonna
Wilson's the
change.
answer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Zach Wilson's out. That's why Flacco is starting, is because Zach Wilson's out 4 weeks at least. So I don't know. A bad team gets worse. So Ravens pummel them week 1. This team is awful. I have nothing else to
That's
say.
my lock of the week. I took them in my survival pool. I think
Who?
the Ravens are going to astoundingly annihilate the New York Football Jets.
Lamar Jackson, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, much more superior team on every aspect of the game. Special teams, offense, defense, trenches, kicking, quarterback play. I think this will be one of those games that will propel the Ravens to have very fat lines against bad teams. I think this is an incorrect line here. I think they're giving the Jets too much respect in their offseason acquisitions.
I originally, right now, my pick, I went with the Panthers in mind just because I didn't want to use the Ravens yet. I think, and I'm trying to look at a team. I think there's too many home underdogs this week.
There's way too many, and we're going to talk about it.
And they're not one
I
anymore,
agree.
but I like
agree
the
with
Panthers
Jesse.
a lot this week.
Yeah, I love the Panthers this week,
Me
but
too.
I've been eyeing that for way too long.
Let's stick with the Ravens here. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson are apparently not close to a contract extension, with Jackson stating that the Ravens have until Friday to get an extension done, it being Wednesday here when we record Wednesday night. What do we think, Ace?
We're talking Ravens and Lamar Jackson contract extension. We know that's going to be a $200 million deal. That's not going to be done within 2 days. I think this is just all cap, so you can kind of press the issue to get them actually working on it. Maybe get the Ravens a little nervous. But I think he's going to get his due. I think he's going to stay in Baltimore. I don't think it comes before Friday. I think they have other things to focus on this week. But interesting to see him say that quote. Maybe he's not as content with Baltimore as we all think he is.
Like you said, could we see him in the Dolphins blue in a year or two?
No, I don't
Do you think that's where he would go, Ace?
It's where his hometown, and they loaded up that roster around him with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I could see him going there for sure. If he's a free agent in the open market, 100%.
They just ship out Tua.
I don't think
They
it'll
missed
happen.
out
I
on
think
Brady
he'll stay
2
in
years ago. I think they go all in on their quarterback, and if Lamar Jackson's available, they'd want to bring him home.
Mackie.
That'd be cool, but I think he stays in Baltimore. It's just
I agree.
gonna be.
I definitely think he stays in Baltimore, but that's
Yeah.
if he leaves, I'd say Miami.
It's definitely
I'd
gonna
love
be
to see the
interesting
Ravens
though
lose him.
if they don't come to a deal by Sunday.
Friday.
It's like, why Friday?
He said Friday's the deadline. If I don't have a deal
Oh,
by
really?
Friday when he leaves the building, basically, that's the deadline.
What's he gonna do?
Play out the year and become a free
Yeah,
agent.
he's playing out the year. He's not talking contract throughout the year. He said
Wow.
once Friday is the deadline. Once that hits, they'll talk after the season.
That'll
He
be
said he
sick.
really
because
wants to
get a deal
focus
that
on
he-
football.
To
Then he
speak
has
for
the
my
MVP
brother, though,
season.
pay that man.
For Big Hoss,
Yeah.
speak for
We
Big
heard
Hoss.
we heard that 16 times last week.
Yeah, I agree. Pay him.
That's ingrained in my head. I literally was looking at every Lamar Jackson future, Ravens future. He just drilled it into my head. I'm like, I feel like I have to bet some of this now.
Ravens at plus money to win the division. Good odds to win the Super Bowl. Why not throw a few beans on?
I'm taking the 2000 to win the Super Bowl, and I'm taking Lamar 2000 MVP.
You heard it before. I put that in on August 5th, so you know how I feel.
Good stuff. Dawson Knox and the Bills agree to a 4-year, $53.6 million contract extension.
He's a big piece. He's a big piece of Buffalo's team.
Yeah, he's a big body. He's obviously a reliable tight end. I just think it's just Josh Allen can make anybody a good piece on that.
I was gonna say,
offense,
yeah,
so.
he's an average. I think this is a situation where he's actually like an average tight end, and Josh Allen's his quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
It's
He's
a
good.
system.
Don't get me wrong. He's solid. He's consistent, but I don't know. send him somewhere else. His career
I
goes
think
to
that's a
six.
great deal for Knox himself. He's uber athletic and pretty big physically, so that's a good mixture. The chemistry he has with Josh Allen is unmatched as well. So you saw that in the playoffs multiple times. Josh Allen extending the play with a scramble out and finding Dawson Knox, motioning him the spots in the end zone and making crazy catches. So he's also in his early 20s, mid 20s maybe. So he has a lot. His best football's in front of him. The only thing I have a question of is where is all of this money coming from? I think they're just printing it up in Buffalo. They have all of these guys: Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds, Tre'Davious White, and then you have to go pay. They just gave the
Von
bag
Miller.
to an old Von Miller, right? And now you're paying Dawson Knox. How are you going to keep guys like Gabe Davis and the other
The
names
salary
on
cap
defense?
in the NFL does not exist, and we've seen that over the past couple of years with the Rams and the Bucks. How are they doing? They're just pushing this. It's the cash over cap thing. They keep like I've heard that term so many times on every sports like media outlet that I watch or listen to. It's the cash over cap. These rich owners are able to just pay everything up front, move everything heavy backloaded, and they'll worry about it in 5 years. Like you saw the Rams GM say after the Super Bowl, he's wearing the shirt that said "fuck them picks." He's like, I'll pay the salaries right now. I'll give you whatever signing bonus you want, but that doesn't come out of the cap.
Hey, that better pay off for the Bills, though. It did for the Rams, as we saw, but watch them not get that ring.
I saw some today, some on CBS Sports. Every single CBS Sports insider has the Rams win or the Bills beating someone in the NFC.
Yeah, the caption was like, "Thanks for coming out, Bills."
Yeah, it was like, and thanks for coming out, Bills.
From a
Just
New
a
England
jinx.
standpoint, you love to see it.
Yeah, they're in your division. That's how I felt last week. We were fucking jerking off the Ravens all week or all fucking pod. I'm like, I like the Steelers plus 950 to win the division.
But you don't actually.
No.
Tell me you're betting like a fan.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not betting that. I am taking Pickens Rookie of the Year. Plus 1,100. Who else is winning Rookie of the Year?
Too many mouths to feed, and like we said before, an inept quarterback, even if they put in Pickett, will not get the job done for.
Who's going to win
Who has,
Rookie of the Year?
who has the best odds, Huff?
I like Drake London.
Pickett plus 500 has the best odds, and he was just got named backup.
I like Drake London. I like Damian Pierce. I like Chris Olave.
I'm not sold
Chris
on
Olave is a
Saints.
good pick. He'll get his touches.
Yeah, I'm going to pull this up now, actually.
A lot of people like Garrett Wilson.
In New York?
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah, I don't know. A team, somebody on the Jets could win anything.
FanDuel Rookie of the Year, Pickett plus 900, Pickens plus 900, Damian Pierce 11-1, Olave 11-1, Breece Hall 12-1, Sky Moore 12-1. Yeah,
Breece Hall's a good pick. Everyone's real high on him.
I had Najee last year. I got to go with my boy again.
Next up, wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders announces his retirement after a 12-year career. Good career for that man. Alrighty, that's going to wrap up our headlines for this week. Lots of good stuff out of all the leagues. But it is time for our week one analysis of all the games in week one of the NFL. I got some trends to start us off real quick here. For the week, the Buffalo Bills enter the regular season as the favorite to win the Super Bowl at plus 600. The first time Buffalo entered a year as the betting favorites since doing so in 1991 and 1992. In week one, there are 10 home underdogs, the most such games in any opening week since the NFL moved to a 16-game schedule in 1978. Road underdogs that did not make the playoffs the previous year are 73, 46, and 4 against the spread in week one. The Steelers, the Giants, and the Jaguars fit this category this week. Very excited for week one this week, boys. Let's jump right in. First game, the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams here on Thursday. The spread coming in at minus 2.5 in the Bills' favor. Money line plus 126 for the Bills, plus 108 for the Rams. Over under sitting at 51.5. Ace, you want to start us off with this one?
Definitely. That's a crazy line to me, considering the Rams are on their home turf after raising the Super Bowl, the Lombardi Trophy, less than 6 months ago. I know Matt Stafford's coming off of an injury and they lost the likes of Odell Beckham Jr., but this Rams team is still really good at home. You have Allen Robinson added in, Cooper Cup. They have all the pieces there, and Sean McVay knows how to use them. It's a veteran team that's coming in as an underdog. I think he's going to have them ready to go on their home turf. Aaron Donald and Jalen Rams are going to be eating. I like the Rams money line. If you're a little nervous, throw it by that half a point for a +3.
Yeah, I do think I'm with you right there. I like the Rams tomorrow night. I do think they end up winning the game. I don't think necessarily, like you said, 2.5. That's not worth it at all, in my opinion. But yeah, give me the Rams. I think the defense gets the job done on their home turf.
I guess I like the Rams, but the line movement's kind of getting to me. And being a sports gambler, I pay attention to things like this. This line opened at the Rams -1, and now they're +2.5. So I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't, but I do like the Rams here. I mean, defending champs on home turf. I don't know how you could get a team like this at plus money, but I like it.
Game screams over to me, though. 51.5 with those two high-powered offenses. What do you guys think?
What's the over set at?
51.5.
It keeps dropping.
Yeah, it does.
I saw 53.5 the other morning.
How about this? The total has gone over in 8 out of the last 9 games between these clubs, as well as actually the Rams have won and covered their last 5 straight season openers.
Interesting.
All right, maybe something coming out of that game from us. Make sure to check on our social medias for any picks on any games this week. Next up, the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. First up, we have the Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals coming in as the favorite at -6.5. The money line is -280 in the Bengals' favor, and the over/under set at 44.5. The Bengals are 6.5-point favorites. Like I said, the loser of the Super Bowl has faced a tough time getting over their hangover in week 1 of the following season, going 4-18 against the spread since the year 2000. The Steelers are 47-26-3 against the spread as an underdog under Tomlin. This makes Tomlin the most profitable coach as a dog since 2003. And last point here, the Bengals covering 7 straight conference games. Ace, what do you got?
Yeah, the stat that jumped out to me that you just mentioned was the Super Bowl losers hangover in their opening game. However, I'd like to pose this question to you. How many of those teams actually got better in the following offseason? I think this Bengals team grew a lot with the signings they added to that O-line, which was very prevalent in the loss to the Rams. They added on the defense. They plugged up the holes, and they added talent on both sides of the ball. So I think the Bengals come out hot. They end that current streak of 8 of the last 9 Super Bowl losers, dropping their opening game the following season. I think the Bengals come out behind their stud and Joe Burrow and grab the win this week. I like 6.5 points too. That's not a lot for a Mitch Trubisky-led team to lose by.
I like the logic there, but I kind of like the Steelers here. 4-18 is a trend that's hard. It's hard to fade something like that. And you're right. The Bengals did fill in pieces that they were missing, and they did get better. But this is a line that a lot of people look at and they see 6.5 points. They're like, that's not a lot, but then you don't really think about how good that Pittsburgh defense is. And
it's going to come down to who scores the first points. If the Bengals come out as they expect, as everyone is expecting, and clearly, like Ace said, he's expecting, saying 6.5 isn't a lot of points. I just, being a Steeler fan, Ace, I know you're a Patriots fan. Fans of teams like us, we rely on defensive ball, and going into a team like the Bengals that rely heavy on their offense in the passing game, I don't know if things aren't firing for Burrow coming into that game on Sunday. I think you could see the situation where the Steelers cover that game, win. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think we see
a cover here.
I definitely agree with those points. Mac, you were thinking the Bengals cover too?
No, I'm thinking Bengals win, but I do think the Steelers cover this game. Maybe a backdoor cover if it comes down to it, but I think
the AFC North game, Bengals could win by a field goal.
I agree with that take. I agree with that take. I think that Burrow's going to come out hot though at home. He's going to showcase that last year wasn't a fluke.
Exactly.
I do think the
I think
Steelers are
there's
going to put
something
up
to
more
prove there.
points than people expect. Trubisky with those receivers isn't a bad combo, but I don't think that they'll be able to keep up with Burrow and that high-powered offense.
Can we
I
get
like the
a
over in this game.
score prediction?
I think 27-23 Bengals win.
That's funny, Huff. I was going to say 28-23.
So we both say the over.
I think the
I was
Bengals
thinking,
put up
yeah.
over 30. I'm saying
So what do you think?
37.
You think the Steelers get their points?
No. Steelers are going to put up
So you
less
think
than
it's like you think it's a blowout?
I do.
Interesting.
I don't know. I've thought that way too many times about the Steelers, and they've come out and that defense has done more than enough to cover its spread. So I've been on the wrong side of it way too many times. I think I like the Steelers here.
I think that team's gotten so much worse than they were last year, and there's so many question marks on the offensive side of the ball. With Mitch Trubisky as your captain of your offense, I don't know if they'll be able to get it done. I think turnovers plague them, and Burrow capitalizes early and often.
Who's the captain of the Patriots?
Mac Jones, the Pro Bowler,
We're getting personal.
didn't back up
We'll see
Josh
how-
Allen
we'll
last year.
We'll
Who's
see the
captain
kind
of
of
the
sophomore
Cowboys?
slump he goes through week 1.
The captain of the Cowboys is whoever beats them in the playoffs in the first round.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right now it's Debo.
It is Debo. Debo can own us. I don't care. You could say that's the only person you could say it.
Yeah, but I do like the over in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
All right, good stuff. The next game up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. The Eagles coming in as the favorite at -3.5. The money line at -195. And the over/under sitting at 48.5. I don't got any trends for this one. Mackie, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna look at this line and just like hammer the Eagles, and I think Vegas is begging you to do that. I think we see a different Lions team this year. I think Jared Goff gets another year under his belt with a new coach and a new team. So I don't know. I don't count out the Lions to win this game. I think the Eagles are overrated. The Lions are underrated. You know, the Lions are home. I think we could see an upset here. We've seen the Eagles underperform week 1 multiple times. So I don't think it'll be anything new this year. I'll take the Lions.
Yeah,
with the
my
points.
favorite pick in this game is the over/under here, 48.5 for these two teams. The Eagles bolstered that defense, and the Lions don't have much going for them. I think it's going to be a slowly played game on both sides of the ball. They both like to run the ball. They're run-heavy offenses. I think these two defenses keep the game at a low-scoring pace. I could see it going under 40 even. I'd hammer the under 40.5, 48.5.
Alternate line.
I could be Mackie, you might have convinced me here. I just think I don't know. I'm not sold on anything coming out of the Detroit until they prove me wrong. I'll probably be taking the Eagles -3.5 in this game. I think they end up winning by 4. It might be a little bit of a sweat more than I'd like, but it's still the Detroit Lions. They'll find a way to lose this game by 4 or more.
Yeah, and I definitely see where you're coming from in that situation. I think it's the easiest thing to do here is just take the Eagles -4. But
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like until they prove it, you know what I mean? I'll lose 1 for them to prove me wrong, but they got to prove me first.
yeah,
Next 1:00 game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. We got the Colts coming in favored at -7.5. The money line at -340 and the over/under at 45.5. The total's gone under in the last 5 games between these clubs. Indy is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 against the Texans, as well as 9-1-1 against the spread in their last 11 road games against the Texans. Do you take the Colts -7.5, just right over a touchdown there? What do we think here, Ace?
Ace, you're high on these Texans. I want to hear your take on this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm very high on the Texans here. I think they're going to be a much more competitive team. I don't think this is the week that it all comes together. I'm not laying 7.5 points with the Colts. That's a bit too much. But
Way
I
too
like
much.
that minus 340. I'd throw that into one of my parlays. If you go, I know a lot of people like to throw a 3-teamer or 4-teamer together with their safe picks for the weekend. And this would be one of those plays I'd go with. I do think the Colts come out on top, led by the veteran Matt Ryan. He's going to have a solid debut. He's got the reigning offensive player in the year, Jonathan Taylor. That defense is loaded. There's good pieces in Houston for a good run, but they're all young. They're not going to come out week one and be ready to go. They're going to hit their stride, be playing their best football at the halfway point in the season.
I'm right there with you. I'll probably be teasing the Texans up a little bit. I think they end up losing this game by like 10, maybe more. I don't necessarily love anything on this game. Probably won't have a pick, but right off the bat, you said the under's gone, 5-0 in the last couple. I was actually looking at the over. I think Jonathan Taylor goes for 2. I think the Texans put up an easy 17 points, and I think you end up sitting right around 45, and maybe, you know what I mean? I like the over on, 45.5? Yeah, I'll take the over on that.
I'm kind
26-23, Colts win, Texans cover.
I'm kind of feeling a little opposite here. I think the Texans have a really tough time scoring against this defense. They don't really have any offensive threat on that Texans team, and I think that Colts defense just shows how good they actually are this year. I think they might sneak one in. I think the Colts cover this game though. I think final score 23-10 maybe, something around there, 24-10.
It'll be interesting to see what Dameon Pierce can do. I think a lot of the Texans offense this year is dependent on him. I mean, we all know the news with what happened with what's his name from Alabama, the receiver. I'm forgetting his name. That's
the guy that has cancer.
Sick. Yeah. What's his name? Mechie.
Yeah, John Mechie.
Oh yeah, John Mechie.
But I think if they would have had, a nice little core with Dameon Pierce and Davis Mills and Mechie, like they have a nice team, like AC has been saying for the coming years. But Mac, yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I don't necessarily think the Texans have really any shot to win this game, but this is the definition of a game I don't have a pick for. Ace, I don't know about you.
Yeah, like I said, the only pick I'm going to have from this game is throwing that Indianapolis Colts minus 340 money line into a parlay. Yeah, I am excited to see, maybe like I said before, it's not going to be this week, but I'm excited to see Davis Mills come along. He's actually not the worst quarterback in that draft class from last year. I'm excited to see Brevin Jordan. I think he's a sleeper rookie that we haven't talked about enough either. He's one of the top rookie tight ends in the league. He's going to have a prominent role in that offense. I think Brandon Cooks is a true top wide receiver. He's going to, if you're just talking in terms of fantasy, he finishes top 10 in the last 6 or 7 seasons. So
the guy I like on the Texans is Derek Stingley.
Derek Stingley on the defensive side of the ball.
Defensive side of the ball, cornerback. They just drafted him. He's a stud. He's going to be a legit dude for them.
They just don't have enough pieces on that defense.
Nah, he's gonna be like the Atlanta Falcons with AJ Terrell.
Yeah, that defense is. We all know that's one of the worst in the league. I'm just excited to see some of these young guys step in and make a name for themselves. Maybe help turn the tide back down in Houston.
To take a pick, yeah, I'm with you. I think Colts win the game. Mac, you're making me fucking rethink my whole take, but I'll stick with them. I'll take the Texans plus the points. Not betting it though, so take that for what it's worth.
Good stuff. I'm excited to see everyone's cards here at the end of the week. I'm pretty indifferent about this next game, the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints coming in at minus 5.5, the money line at minus 225, and the over/under at 42.5. Who wants to start off with this one? Mackie, you want to take it away?
I do really like the Saints here. I think this is a good situation for them to prove what they have this year against a really, really weak Falcons team that has really nothing going for them except for a young quarterback in Desmond Ridder. Yeah, I don't know. This team is just they're a playoff team, I think. So, come out strong. They have a lot to prove. Teddy Bridgewater needs to have a good first game, good week 1.
Jameis.
Yeah, that was dumb. But
hey.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Jameis. Jameis is back.
All right, my bad. Cut that out. But
say Jameis.
With Jameis Winston, but
what did he say?
I'm all lost.
He said Teddy Bridgewater needs to have a good first game.
I knew it was Jameis too because I was going to talk about his mistakes.
Drew Brees,
I was going to talk about his mistakes
Katrina
too.
in New Orleans, they're all going to be at it.
Yeah, I think the Saints cover this game here. I think they get away pretty easily here.
This year or
Yeah,
a few years ago?
You
if
guys got
Drew
me all
Brees can
fucked
throw,
up.
if Drew Brees can throw for 350,
Dude, they should get Reggie Bush 25 plus touches this week. They might get back to the Super Bowl.
Darren Sproles coming out the running back committee. We're just gonna hand the ball off to the little guy.
It's
Saints
all
will
going
get
to
the
come
job.
down to the Bush Sproles tandem when they play the Eagles and Brian Dawkins in the NFC Championship.
All right, keep it going.
All right, but I'm with you. I like the Saints this week. There was certain situations throughout the offseason I thought the Saints could lose this game week 1. I just don't think the Falcons have much going for them. I'm right there with you. I think Mariota struggles. I'm not too big on many of the skill positions in Atlanta. I think Cordero Patterson's a nice piece, but he's not even like a real running back. So for him to be your starting running back isn't necessarily like the best option. There's definitely worse options. He had a hell of a year last year, but yeah, I'm set with the Saints -5.5 on this one.
I like -5.5 a lot. I know the Saints have lost a lot of pieces. They've gained some on the offensive side of the ball. I think they should be able to cover that spread. It's not too big of a line either. The Falcons don't have much at all. Huff just said it. Like, they don't have really anything. The only thing that I'm excited to watch on that team is Drake London and then the unicorn Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts emerges as potentially the top tight end in football after this season. But yeah, they're not going to be able to get the job done. This game is way too balanced on the other side. The Saints can cover 5.5.
Do you have Pitts over
Jameis
Kelsey
Winston.
by the end of the year?
What'd you say?
You have Pitts over Kelsey by the end of the year?
Yeah, I think statistically maybe not, but we'll see that Kelsey's going on a downward trajectory of his career and Pitts is going up. I just
I know
think
what you
Pitts
mean.
sees so many touches in that offense too, if he can stay healthy, right?
What's crazy is he had, one touchdown last year?
Yeah, did he play all year though? That's such a bad team though. He's in one of the worst spots, but you'd think he'd.
He What's funny is he had one touchdown last year and it was in London. Everyone says he doesn't have a touchdown in the NFL in America.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Yeah, especially with the way Jameis Winston played to start the year last year. He was rolling so much before he went down with that injury. What do you think about that? You think he starts off hot again? He's got Thomas, Olave, and Landry.
I think he has the weapons. Kamara, you know what I mean? Like you said, the rookie receiver Olave, he definitely has the options down there. So
Got Michael Thomas back this year
new
too.
piece like Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, Olave. They definitely have options down there. That's an open division. They're +300 to win this division. Well, I've heard a lot of people over the past couple of weeks start to creep up on how high or their opinions on the Saints and say that maybe the Bucks don't win this division. People are saying the Saints at +300. I don't really see the value there, but if you do, take it. If not, you can sit in the corner with me and have the Bucks. But I'm not really too high on the Saints division odds. But this week I do like them -5, Mackie.
Here's the thing: do you see Jameis cutting down? I mean, we've seen his mistakes in the past. How he is so inconsistent with his passes and how he makes so many mistakes with the ball. Do you think he cuts down on his mistakes?
He'll have a turnover.
Do you think it's as bad as it's been, or do you think that's something that he's worked? Because I feel like that's all he's really had to work on in his game to make him an above average quarterback. We've seen that he can throw the ball. We've seen him put up 30 touchdown passes in a season. So I think he has it in him as long as he can cut down on the mistakes.
I think he does too. It just depends on the mistakes, and I think he has more options this year than ever. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with a guy like Kamara coming out of the backfield. You don't have as much pressure on the passing game. You didn't have really a legit running threat in Tampa Bay.
Now you're not scared to check down to your second and third options at the receiver position. So
exactly, he has 3 studs at the receiver position. So
I agree with both of you. The only thing I have to ask is, does the name Dennis Allen ring a bell?
No,
that's their head coach. They don't have Sean Payton anymore. So that's the one thing that we have to remember coming into week 1 for the New Orleans Saints in our futures bets. They're under a whole new regime. First year with a new guy. Winston coming off of injury. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on this team, but I do think they get it done -5.5 this week against the weak Falcons team.
Ace, where's that guy from?
Head coach. He was an assistant.
You could have told me.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was an internal hire. Yeah, he was the D coordinator.
All right, well that's a little if it's inside the organization
safer.
move, then yeah, it's a little safer.
Yeah, Sean Payton, one of the most notorious coaches in the NFL. Yeah, he had Bounty Gate, but he has a Super Bowl under his belt. So it's good to see how they play under a new regime, though. You remember him and Jameis dancing in the locker room last year? Sean Payton, guys, the guy's going.
So I think we're all in the Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints are the move here in this matchup. Let's move over to the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Jets. The Ravens coming in as the favorite at -7.5. The money line at -330 and the over-under at 44.5. The only trend I got here is the Jets are 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games as a dog. So money line looking promising, but what do we think about the spread here? Also sitting pretty high this week at -7.5. Ace, you want to start us off here with the Ravens? Represent Big Hoss.
Yeah, if you've been with us since the beginning of the podcast, then you know our picks on this one. We're all Ravens heavy this week, especially against a weak Jets team. We've been on the Ravens all year, so we're all excited to see them get going. I think Huff and Mackie, you guys can speak more on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly, I was gonna say I don't have too much to say on this one. Give me the Ravens -7. I think they win this game by 13, 14 or more.
I think we already said everything we need to say about this awful Jets organization. So
Yeah, whatever
Ravens.
points you can get with Lamar Jackson, alternate spread, first half, first quarter, second half, whatever. Hammer the Ravens this game.
Ace, that money line sitting at a nice price for a parlay booster too.
What's it at?
What's it, 330?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, -330.
Right around that
It's-
same price as the Colts. You get a nice
Exactly,
little play
yeah.
with them and the Colts in there. You're looking pretty good with 2 safer bets.
Looks like Ace is going to be having the can't lose parlay in his picks this week.
Colts, Ravens, Niners +120.
Who the Niners got? We haven't gone over that yet.
That's coming up here in a few. Next up, we have the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins coming in as the favorite this week at -3.5. Money line at -172 and the over-under at 46.5. The Dolphins are 15-5 straight up in their last 20 games as the favorite. The Patriots are 15-3 straight up in their last 18 season openers. And the Patriots are 2-7 straight up and against the spread in their last 9 games at Miami. Obviously, some of those stats probably taking into account some Tom Brady stats, but I like that Dolphin stat. What do we think here?
Let's hear the bias.
Yeah, Ace, just start us off here. Go ahead.
The Patriots are sick. Don't get me wrong. This is a tough game to look at, though. I probably won't be throwing on this game at all, actually. Too many question marks on both sides of the ball. You have a whole new offense with an underdeveloped left-handed quarterback in Miami, new coaching staff down there. Bill Belichick and Mac Jones were pretty prolific last year, but I think there's a stat about the Patriots in South Beach. They've lost so many games there. Patriots on the road against Miami just does not bode well.
2-7 straight up
Yeah.
and against the spread in their last 9 games at Miami.
Yeah, South Beach isn't friendly to the Patriots, but I'm not sold on this Dolphins team, especially in week 1. And if you saw the quote that their coach put out today, what's his name? The guy from San Francisco that's down in
Mike
Miami
McDaniel.
right now. Yep, McDaniel, you said?
Mike
His quote
McDaniel,
was,
yeah.
We're either crowned champions week 1 or we're the worst team in the league, but there's always week 2. So that's an interesting quote to me. But like I said, not touching this game. Let me hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of question marks on both sides of the ball. I'd actually like to see both these teams play before I bet on either of them. You know, you got a lot of questions with the Patriots because a lot of people don't think they're going to be that good. But, you know, Mac Jones can have a great year, another MVP or another Pro Bowl year. So we see that, and this Patriots team could be pretty good. But going down to Miami, there's so many new additions to that team. So I definitely just want to see this team play before I want to throw some money on it. Get a little.
Wait, Matthew, did you just speak MVP Mac Jones?
I
into
didn't.
existence?
I said Pro Bowl. I fixed myself literally in 2 seconds.
We all heard it. We all.
I said
heard it.
another. I said another. So
Yeah, that's where I caught him. He said another.
I'll pull the clip.
last time I checked, I didn't know Mac Jones had an MVP, but
Just wait. It's coming.
My take on
Yeah.
this, I'm leaning Patriots for the familiarity factor. I think Belichick goes into Miami, ends up actually winning the game outright. I think the Patriots get the job.
All right. Let's move up to the Cleveland Browns at the Carolina Panthers, or the Panthers coming in favored at -1.5, money line at -124, the Browns money line at +106, and the over-under sitting at 41.5, one of the lower ones here this week. I got a good trend for the Browns. The Browns haven't won a week 1 game since defeating the Ravens and Kyle Bowler back in 2004. They are 0-16-1 straight up in that span, forcing a tie versus the Steelers back in 2018.
Yeah, I know me and Huff have been talking about this game for a very long time, and we both like the Panthers here. I think Baker Mayfield is a statement game. I think this Panthers team is a lot better than a lot of people think. So, having an even line here with the uncertainties going on in Cleveland, I think is pretty crazy. I think that Vegas is underrating the Panthers and Baker Mayfield's ability. So, yeah, I really like the Panthers here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you mean speak for both of us. Like you said, we've been talking about this one all summer long. As soon as Baker found his home in Carolina, I think everyone realized the week 1 matchup was Browns at Panthers. I think he defends his new home turf, gets the job done. I actually was able to grab my Carolina in a parlay, like a little one that I threw with a bunch of legs, but they opened up this game at like +120. Obviously, with all the question marks around the Deshaun Watson news, this was before the Panthers got Baker. So the line shifting now to the Panthers money line at -124. I'm big on the Panthers this week. I currently have them, like I said, in my survivor pool. I'm thinking about maybe moving that around, but I'm heavy on them. I think this is a good week to use a team like the Panthers. Ace, I know you. I don't know your take on this. If you got Cleveland or Carolina.
Jesse, what were the lines on this game again?
The money line for the Panthers at -124, Browns money line at +106, and the spread in the favorite of the Panthers at -1.5.
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you have for the over-under?
41.5.
41.5. That's low. I was going to say, I think both of these defenses are a lot better than the offenses on both sides. The other interesting thing to look at is the quarterback matchups. These are 2 brand new quarterbacks and brand new systems. Baker struggled. He struggles against good defenses. I know Myles Garrett and the rest of that pass rush are going to be ready to go. I've heard a lot about DJ Moore. But those corners on the Browns side of the ball, we know how good they are. You have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, right, on the linebacker that can match up well with Christian McCaffrey. It's going to be a tough game for me to pick, especially you can tell that Vegas thinks the same with the line. Give me the Panthers at home. Baker gets his revenge against his former team, but it's going to be ugly. I'd stick with the money line there. Nick Chubb is going to get the ball a lot this game. The Browns are going to play slow. Baker's going to get hit and hit often. But I think he does just enough to squeak out a win. You see a 3-point win here, something like that.
McCaffrey, anytime touchdown, sitting at -130. I like that.
Love that.
If the Panthers
That's
win
a
this
good
game,
play.
he gets 2.
He's going to get a touchdown every game he plays in where he doesn't get hurt. The question is, you're betting -130 that he stays in the full game.
I bet $100 on him on both or one of my fantasy teams that he's going to stay healthy the whole year.
You and a lot of other people.
It's potential. He's the best fantasy football player, literally, arguably ever. You have to take him. Like the upside on a guy like him is just unreal.
Yeah, it's going to come down to turnovers too, though. If Baker can manage those, then they should be able to hold on and win this game. But if not, it might be trouble for him down in Carolina.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game. Storyline aside, I think this is a great game.
I think it's going to be Chubb and Hunt versus McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Alrighty, and to continue with our 1 o'clock games, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears. The 49ers coming in as our favorite this week at -6.5, the money line at -330. Again, another one there for you to add to your parlay there, Ace, and the over-under sitting at 40.5. I got some good trends for this game as well. The 49ers are 35-16 straight up and 29-21-1 against the spread with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback. With all other quarterbacks in that span, they are 8-28 straight up and 15-21 against the spread. Justin Fields has played 4 games as a home underdog in his NFL career. The Bears are 0-4 straight up and against the spread, scoring more than 14 points. Oh, I didn't mean to read that. And against the spread in those 4. What are you thinking, Ace?
Yeah, so that stat definitely jumps out to you about Jimmy Garoppolo-led teams being a lot better than non-Jimmy Garoppolo-led teams, as we have Trey Lance taking the helm here. But the thing I always think about is, who were those starters before Jimmy Garoppolo? They weren't a top 10
Alex Smith,
pick. Yeah, they weren't top 10
Colin
pick Trey
Kaepernick.
Lance. They weren't Trey Lance with the pedigree that he has. He's supposed to come in and be an MVP potential game changer franchise player, right?
Alex Smith was the number 1 overall pick.
Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick were both very good for the 49ers.
Alex Smith was the number 1 overall pick.
What pick was that? Yeah, but he wasn't drafted by the Niners, was he?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Who else would? But how long ago was he playing before Garoppolo?
I think he was.
Well, he had a stint in Kansas City.
Garoppolo?
When Kaepernick was in San Francisco, Smith was in Kansas City, correct?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
When Kaepernick went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers, is that when Alex Smith was a Chief?
Yeah,
Yep.
because Smith got hurt in San Francisco and
They moved
Kaepernick came in.
They went to Kaepernick.
Yeah, because he lit it up. He was a beast.
Wasn't
That
there
was 10
people
years ago. Isn't that
between
crazy?
Kaepernick and
No,
Garoppolo?
what'd you say, 10 years ago? No way, that was 2012.
It's 2022.
No, yeah, I know. I'm saying I didn't realize that was that long ago.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what I'm
you were
saying.
like,
Isn't there quarterbacks between, like, for that stat, 8-28 in games without Garoppolo? Isn't that
Mullins?
that's like
There's games
2
where
years.
like Mullins had to start. There's other quarterbacks that have had to come in for the
Beathard.
49ers. Beathard, yeah, CJ Beathard.
Mullins? Yep, you said that. There's another guy too, but that's what
Yeah,
I'm
there's
that's what
another guy I'm
referring to.
forgetting.
They had a few
was-
rough years in between, like, with everything that went on with Colin Kaepernick, too. So
He said 8-28 though. That's 36
Who did
games. That's like
Garoppolo come in to
2.5. That's
replace?
1.5 seasons.
Who did
What'd you-
Garoppolo come in to replace?
The Mullins Beathard gang, I thought.
Was it just
I think it was Mullins.
It was Mullins.
I'm pretty sure
Okay,
they
we're
had
good.
nothing. I'm pretty sure
That's
they had
why
nothing
they paid
going
him.
on. They had nothing going
you're
on
right.
in there. And he was coming
but
from
I look.
he was coming
Go
from
ahead.
New England, correct? Just a
Yeah.
backup position in New England.
Yeah, it was when Brady was suspended and Garoppolo and Brissett went off that they got the bag in free agency.
Everyone just thought Garoppolo was the next best thing sitting behind Tom Brady, and I don't think that's what it ended up being. So
Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship, though. He didn't do bad.
yeah, I know, but I also
It was
preached
ugly.
that defense and Deebo Samuel. So
Oh yeah, it was ugly.
I think he did the bare minimum to get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like I said, I think Trey Lance has MVP potential. So I think they come out and roll that Bears team. That roster for the 49ers is so good. You can play bully ball. You can run the ball. You can pass the ball. You can pass up the middle. I know Kittle was listed as questionable today. First time I saw that. But that defense owns the trenches on both sides, and there's so many playmakers. The Bears have none. I like the Niners a lot here. It's another
Yeah, I
lock
like
of the 49ers.
Niners minus 6.5 for me.
Yeah, I just think the Bears have nothing going for them, so I'll roll with you guys.
Good stuff. Lots of good games this week. Let's finish up our 1:00 games with Jacksonville at Washington. The Commanders coming in at minus 2.5. The money line at minus 142. And the over-under sitting at 43.5. I got one trend here. Washington is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against Jacksonville. So a lot of favor in Washington's favor. Huff, what do you think? Start us off here.
I love the Jaguars here, actually. I'm forgetting the 2.5 points. I'll take them plus 120 money line. I think Trevor Lawrence comes out with a new offense, Christian Kirk, a Travis Etienne back in his backfield. Had mixed opinions on this Jaguars team's win totals and stuff like that, but I think this week 1 matchup is meant for them to start the season out 1-0. I think the new head coach in Jacksonville, Doug Peterson, gets his first win as a Jaguar week 1 this Sunday in Washington.
Huff, I definitely agree with you. When I was looking at that game, I also love the Trevor Lawrence-led Jaguars there. I know that's not thing to be in love with, but they have a lot of potential, that offense. You have Travis Etienne, you have
But
James
you got to look at who
Robinson.
they're playing too. You got to look at who they're playing too.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is he's better than he's supposed to be, at least. He's supposed to be good enough to beat teams like this. So I'm riding with him. He has a real coach now. He has his buddy Etienne with him, nice and healthy. They've got some playmakers on both sides of the ball. They have that top pick on defense. They're ready. Evan Engram, another guy that's not being talked about enough. Maybe the change of scenery rejuvenizes his career. I don't know. I like the Jaguars there, money line.
Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this game. It's tough. I mean, this Jags team could be completely new coach. Got a running back coming off an injury. It's your first look at him. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks with this Jaguars team. I think if we're thinking about it, then Washington's probably the safer bet here because I think Washington's a little underrated this year. I think they have a little more going for them than people think, especially being in that NFC East division. It's wide open, so they think that they can come out of that division. I think anybody thinks that one of those three teams can come out of that division. So I don't know. You could see a different Commanders team this year. Almost said Redskins there.
Yeah, come on, Mackie. Get politically correct. They're the Commanders.
Trying to cancel the podcast.
We'll get canceled. Cancel culture.
John Gruden had to help you.
Jesus Christ.
What'd he say?
He goes, John Gruden. I just go, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Nothing like that.
According to him, he's a good guy.
You see, he wants another chance.
I don't think so. But Huff, like I was saying, me and you were just talking in the chat about that. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl champion, getting his crack with Trevor Lawrence, real coach we're talking about. And he gets to play his former player in Wentz, I think he takes him down. Plus, Chase Young isn't playing. He's the best player on either team on the defensive side of the ball. So missing him is vital.
Yeah, this isn't a situation of Belichick going up against Brady as he left. This is Doug Peterson going against Carson Wentz. I think the head coach has the advantage here.
Agreed, for sure.
Agreed. All right, let's move into our 4:30 games with the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers coming in as the favorite at -3.5. The money line at -184, and the over/under sitting at 52.5. I don't got any trends for this one, so Huff, why don't you start us off?
It's a very interesting spread the way this game's sitting. I think a lot of these AFC West games you're going to see a 3-point spread going either way. Obviously for the home team with how good all these teams are. I do think the Chargers come out strong week one. I think I had them splitting basically that whole division, kind of like 3-3 going in the division. So I think it's too easy to say they're all going to win their home games, but I do like the Chargers week one. I think Herbert starts out strong. I think Eckler and Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, the defense that we've been talking about them for 2 weeks. I think just the Chargers come out and have a great game. Ace, I know you've been high on the Raiders. I'm interested to hear what you have to say on this one. I got Chargers. I don't love the 3.5. I like the money line, maybe in like a 2-legger, or maybe tease that down, maybe get like a +1, just basically bet the money line.
Yeah, you're not wrong in saying this is an interesting one to look at. I think this is one of the tougher games to pick. I think this is America's game of the week potentially.
This should be
a good one. Yeah, this is going to be a good one to watch for sure. There's going to be fireworks on both sides. A lot of big name players, a lot of new acquisitions, a lot of new faces. I know that a mainstay at coach for Los Angeles is nice, and playing in their home stadium is nice. But I think this game means so much to Derek Carr, to Josh McDaniels, to Devontae Adams that they jump onto the scene right away and grab an important win on the road and get talked about like they deserve to. There's just so much talent on both sides of the ball. I think the Chargers are still a little banged up, right? I think that pass rush is going to get through, shut down Herbie a little bit. It's going to be a shootout. Give me +3.5 for the Raiders here, but I'm leaning money line as well.
I could see both sides of this. I think this is definitely going to be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a shootout to the end. This is going to be a season-defining game for the Chargers and Justin Herbert, I think, because he's going to have that game-winning drive or that clutch drive in the fourth quarter to put them on top, I think. And if he's able to do it,
I didn't mean to cut you off there. That last game. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go.
That last game of the season last year was the perfect chance for him to have his first game-winning drive, get your team in the playoffs, the lights were never brighter on him there.
Which is what we've seen for the past 2 years, that this Chargers team is just there and they can't get over that hump to get to be an elite team. And their expectations this year are that they're going to be an elite team, but the expectations are that Justin Herbert is going to be him and he's going to win those tight games. We saw it last year with these two exact teams, and Derek Carr came out on top. So this is going to be a really important game for Justin Herbert and that Chargers team. And I think they come out on top, and I think they have a good year.
Yeah, like you said, Mackie, the Chargers always seem to be right there. I think they have that crazy stat you always see on TV. It's like they've lost the most one-possession games. They've lost the most 3-point games. I just remember seeing that with Phillip Rivers, and it's rang true in Herbert's tenure as well. Yeah, I like the Raiders plus 3.5. You heard me say why earlier. I kind of like a money line too. I'm high on that offense, McDaniels. But the thing to think about, if you're a Chargers guy and you're leaning Chargers, they added so much. If they're right there, they added Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson. Those are two prolific defensive players. If you think your team's right there, why does that not push you over the top?
No, yeah, it definitely does. And that's why I think we see a difference this year in that Chargers team. And I think it does push them a little over the top. And you get another year under Justin Herbert's belt. And, he has caliber to have an MVP season this year. So I do like that Raiders team. I'm nothing against them, but I think this is going to be a really good game. I think the Chargers just come out on top at home.
Good stuff. And this next one, let's jump in with Mackey's New York Giants at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans coming in at minus 5.5.
Is that a chirp?
I texted. I put in the chat. I said, "Go to Mackey first about his New York Giants." Look at the chat. I said Mackey's high on Daniel Jones this year.
Mackey's high on crack.
All right, go on about my Giants.
The Tennessee Titans are favored in this game, though, Mackey. I'm sorry, at minus 5.5. The money line at minus 240 and the over-under at 43.5. Mackey, you taking the Giants at plus 5.5? I'm going to go to you first here. What do you think?
I hate to say it, but I do see a Giants cover here. I mean, dude, I'm not high on the Titans this year. I don't think they have much going for them. Obviously, they still have Derrick Henry, in my opinion, the best running back in the league. But that defense is pretty poverty, in my opinion. And maybe you see something out of Daniel Jones this year. So you got Saquon Barkley back fully healthy. So you got the running game that you got to worry about. So I don't know. Maybe you see something here. This is probably one of the worst games of the week, I think. I'm just kind of throwing something out there.
Daniel
I'm definitely not gonna. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna be betting on this game. But
hey, Mackie, stay off the weed. Daniel Jones is terrible. They're gonna tank to get another top pick and go to that.
Let me just specify that I never.
We put him in. We cornered you there and made you take the Giants, and now we're just chirping.
What's funny is that I thought about that on spot once you called them my Giants. I had to back them up.
You love the New York Football Giants. I mean, the teams that play in New Jersey and are from New York, fucking terrible.
The best.
So, like I'm saying, they're going to be picking first overall. I don't even care. They're going to be picking first overall again. They're going to start there losing off. They might go defeated the whole year. They got to start off strong if they want that first pick. So they're going to get smoked by Mike Vrabel and the Texans.
What about a backdoor cover?
A backdoor cover happens for teams that know how to score points. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones doesn't know how to do that.
They do have a new head coach. Daboll's I think he was a good move for the Giants. I do like the move to bring him in from Buffalo. But
I think they got a little more that they need to do before they
How do you think Saquon fares in his first game back?
They had a nice draft. They did.
I genuinely am not high on Saquon at all, just because that Giants offensive line is literally the worst in the league, and he has no time to do anything. He gets the ball and he has three guys swarming him like that. I mean,
he's a touchdown waiting to happen though.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll get his fantasy points, but I think in the aspect of like him having a breakout year, I don't think it's physically possible because they don't have a threat in the pass game and their offensive line is poverty. So
what's crazy to me is like you said, that they have no threat in the pass game. They're actually muddled with tons of talent at receiver. They just can't figure it out. I think if each of those guys went their own way and joined another team, they might turn into something. Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. There's a lot of good names, but they just can't seem to put it together for some reason. I think that's Daniel Jones, but Dayball was brought in for that. I'm still on the Titans
Yeah.
heavy there.
You're definitely right about that. They do have some receivers that definitely have potential. But yeah, you still have Daniel Jones slinging that football. So, how much faith can you really have in that pass game?
Mackey's right. They do have the robotic receivers in the Giants football team organization, but yeah, they're still not going to make any noise. Me and Huff are on Vrabel heavy.
What am I missing?
Mackey likes
What are you
the
guys
Giants,
laughing
but
at?
I don't think he's taking
You-
them.
We couldn't hear your whole last take. You were robotic.
Yeah, your voice sounded like a robot. And Nace goes, yeah,
Robot.
Mackie is right. They do have those robotic receivers.
I forget what I even said, so just fucking cut it out. And
Good.
Titans, hammer them. Everybody else like that?
All right.
Yeah, Titans minus 5.5. Don't ever think this.
Very good take there, boys. I like it. Another 4:30 game we got. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Arizona Cardinals. Chiefs coming in as the favorite at minus 5.5, money line at minus 255, and the over-under at 53.5. The Chiefs have won straight up and played over in their past 7 season openers. And the Cardinals are just 3-10 against the spread. Their past 13 at home, including 0-5 against the spread streak. Huff, why don't you start us off with this one?
I'll start us out here, and I'm not necessarily loving either side with this one. Ace, I think I know who you're going to be leaning with, your boy, but I'll get rolling right here. Give me the over 53.5. I think this is the shootout game of the week that we're going to see just points. Both of these offenses, I know this Arizona team has unloaded a couple key players. They still have guys like Budda Baker on the defensive side of the ball, but I think Mahomes is not going to struggle to score 28. And same thing goes for Kyler. I think he's not going to struggle to score north of 24 points. And I really like that over. So I think final score is sitting right around like 31-28, 31-27, somewhere in there. I don't really know who wins, but I guess with those scores, I guess I'd be taking the Cardinals plus the points.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Mahomes week 1. You expect something good out of him. This is a weird line, a 6-point line here, especially with the game being in Arizona. It's in Arizona, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so a 6-point line, 6-point home dogs is kind of absurd to me with the Cardinals team that really hasn't. I mean, they were a playoff team last year. I don't know why they're getting so much hate. I guess DeAndre Hopkins is out 6 weeks, but
it's the Chiefs.
I think this should be a really good game. I don't think a 6-point. I think a 6-point line is a little too much for this game.
Mackie, how do you feel about that over under?
I do like that over under. I think it's so high, which is sitting at 53.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be scared to take that, but can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh.
You're fine. We'll be screaming and moaning if you can't hear us.
A lot of people are gonna be scared to take that over 53.5, but I like it here. I think it's a shootout, like you said.
Yeah, I agree with
see what you got to say.
I definitely like the over there. That's a great pick. Honestly, with two of the league's great young quarterbacks, I'd hammer that one. That's probably my favorite over of the week we've had so far. But at the same time, 6 points for a home team is always crazy, and for a playoff contending team, it's also pretty strange. So yeah, we're gonna rock the overs club like Huff said, but I'm gonna take the points with the Cardinals here. Give me them at home, the home birds, not the home dogs. Cardinals, a couple of birds. But
couple of birds.
6 points at home. Kyler Murray, the new Call of Duty hasn't dropped yet. He's going to be balling week 1. A lot of trash on his name. A lot of people putting dirt on his name in the offseason. I have no clue why. He has Marquise Brown. He's going to be airing it out to him all day long. Him and Patty M are going to be going back and forth. But I think that Cliff and the boys get it done. A funny bet to take here would be game to go to overtime. If there was one to go to overtime this week, week could definitely be Kansas City, Arizona. Crazy line. Throw very lightly on it. But yeah, I like the Cardinals covering here, maybe squeaking out a win against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Is that overtime rule in effect this year, or is that next year?
I think it's immediately.
I think it is immediately
right now.
Yeah, I believe
so.
Yeah,
2022. Yep.
This would be a cool game to go to overtime. See
so
them
what
shoot
is it
out real quick.
New overtime rule?
Both teams
Both
get a
teams
chance
get
to
to
touch the
possess
ball.
the ball.
What, touchdown or not?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not sure that when you break it down what the rule actually is, but I mean, I guess no matter what, the second team just has a chance to score the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. I'm just rooting for points in this one. Give me the over.
I like the over.
The new rule states that if a playoff game goes into overtime, both teams will now have an opportunity to possess the football. If
Playoff
the game
game.
remains
Playoff
tied
game.
after each team holds the one possession, then sudden death rules apply, and the next score will win the game.
So overtime rules are the same until playoffs.
That I think that's actually crazy. I don't know why they would change the rules for only
Postseason
playoffs.
overtime rules have been changed. Yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's get into this next one. Last 4 o'clock game.
Next one, last 4 o'clock game, as Huff said, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers coming in as the favorite at -1.5. The money line at -116, and the over/under at 47.5. The Vikings money line is -102. Huff, how about you start us off with this one?
Yeah, so I took the Packers to win the division, and with the take I'm going to have in this game is not going to make my division take look too hot. I actually have the Vikings winning this game. I think they come out and defend their home field in week 1. I'm really high on the Vikings this year. I do think Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Jettas, Thielen, another year up there. I think that offensive core is very nice, and while the defensive side of the ball isn't anything too crazy, it's enough to get the job done against a Packers team that is subtracted this offseason. And last year, Aaron Rodgers fucked me week 1. I had the Packers -3 in New Orleans, and they got blown out, so I'm fading them week 1 this year.
Yeah, I basically agree. I think the Vikings come out on top this year. I think the Packers struggle this year. I don't think they bounce back without Devontae Adams as well. I think Aaron Rodgers has a tough time trusting his younger receivers. I know he still has Alan Lazard, he has Valdes-Scantling still, but
Scantling's a Chief.
Oh, did he leave? Okay, my
Yeah,
bad
he's
on
a
that.
Chief. You're good.
Okay, but you have Alan Lazard, and then you just have a few young receivers, and he's already said in press conferences that if you don't catch the ball,
We lost
There
him,
you go.
Mackie.
if you don't catch the ball, you're not gonna play. And I think he has a little problem trusting his receivers this year. So I think he has to get used to it for a few games. And this first game is going to be a tough matchup for them. I think the Vikings
agree.
are on top.
I think it'll be a slow start for them. I like the Vikings money line. Ace, what about you?
Yeah, this sucks for me because I wanted to go last because I thought I have a different take than y'all. I'm also on the Vikings, which is a tough thing to say that we're all on the Vikings. I feel like I have to give some respect to Aaron Rodgers reigning back-to-back MVP real quick. I know he's had a lot in the offseason, a lot of moving parts, not ready to go, and so they lost Zadarius Smith on the other side of the ball. They still have Aaron Jones. They have A.J. Dillon. We've seen Rodgers make every receiver he's thrown to relevant throughout his career, so it doesn't really matter who you have. They have a couple of early picks, like Mackie said, and Watson and Dobbs, or Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson.
It's just Dobbs.
Yeah, and you still have Sammy Watkins and Alan Lazard. You have Robert Tonyan. I do like the Vikings, though, for this reason. They have that new offensive coordinator in from the Rams and a healthy Dalvin Cook to start the year. He's one of the best players on the offensive side of the ball in the whole league when he's healthy. You have him, Jefferson, Thielen, Osborne, Irv Smith, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, all up to speed. I mean, I like the Vikings. You said they're at home, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Vikings at home, and I think Aaron Rodgers and the team will start picking up as the year goes on. So let's not count them out. We can't count out Aaron Rodgers. We don't want to be those guys.
Alrighty, and next up, the Sunday night football game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. We have the Buccaneers favored at -2.5, the money line at -136, and the over/under at 50.5. All right, Mackie, you want to start us off with this one?
Yeah, so we saw this matchup last year, and the spread was a lot higher. It was at an 8-point spread, I think, and everyone kind of thought that Tampa was going to go out and smoke them, and I think it was a 2-point game. Bucs ended up winning, but Dallas at home here, I like their spot. I think it's a tough spot to come into against a team like the Bucs who have so much going on. Tom Brady coming back out of retirement after not even really retiring, but I don't know. It's a good test for the Cowboys who do have their own questions this year. That division's obviously up for grabs, and how good of a year Dak is going to have. So it's a good game for them. I think they come out on top at home because they're looking forward to the next week, and they got the Bengals the following week, so that's another tough matchup they have to deal with. So you want to win at least one of these two games, and I think you win this game against the Bucks week 1. I don't expect either of
I
you
was
guys to
interested
have
to
the
hear
same
your
input
take
as me.
because I'm actually not too low on the Cowboys in this game with everything that's going on with the Bucks. I do think the Bucks cover. I think they win the game and cover, but I hate to say I wouldn't be too surprised if the Cowboys come out and play a good game. Dak comes out and throws for, you know what I mean, some 3 touchdowns, a hell of amount of yards. It's really going to come down to turnovers and what Zeke can do. But like I said, yeah, give me the Bucks with the points here. I'm just going to stick with familiarity based off of last season right now.
Yeah, I'm still gonna roll with the Bucks here. I'm gonna take a money line, but it's scary with that offensive line. They've been depleted since that last year. I'm no surprise that Brady stepped away for a little bit. You lose Rob Gronkowski, who's like an extra lineman too. I think they lost, who was it? Jensen, Wirfs, and someone
Marpet
else.
retired and Jensen got hurt.
Another guy in that O-line got hurt too. I can't remember who exactly, but yeah, it's a lot of moving pieces, but it's still Tom Brady. He's got a lot of weapons on both sides, and that defense speaks for itself. Jason Peters steps in for the Cowboys now for the injured lineman they had go down. So that's going to be, he's 36 years old. It's tough for him to defend that pass rush from Tampa Bay. You have Shaq Barrett and Devin White. We know. We've seen them in the Super Bowl. We've seen them in the playoffs last few years. Tampa Bay is loaded on both sides of the football. They'll own the trenches regardless of the injuries. I think they come out and win this game. Dak, without a healthy Gallup, he's going to be throwing to Jalen Tolbert and Noah Brown. I mean, I'm not too excited about this Cowboys team right off the rip. Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb.
We know he'll get his, but
forget about him.
Who else is going to make plays around them? We know the Cowboys run those 3 receiver sets all the time, and we need that.
We also got a nice committee in our backfield with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. I think Tony Pollard.
Yeah, they're both going to get eaten up by that Bucs run defense. One of the best run defenses in the league. They have 3 guys in the backfield as the time the ball's being snapped. I mean, I like the Cowboys a lot too. I'm high on them. I have them to win the division, obviously. I put that in earlier in the year. But this is just not a great matchup for them in week 1. I don't think.
All 3 of us defend our teams so hard.
Trayvon Diggs.
It's great.
We did see this. The Bucs team is relatively the same.
Good thing you cut out. That's what Trayvon Diggs is going to do when he's covering Mike Evans this week. So you'd be like, oh, he's right there, and now Mike Evans is in the end zone.
I actually hate Trayvon Diggs, and I think he's the most overrated player in the NFL.
The worst part is, though, he's the second best player on your defense.
I don't think that's true either. He's just, he was rated 36 in
It's crazy that you're a Cowboys fan and arguing against Trayvon Diggs. I agree that he's not as good as everybody thinks, but pick sixes and turnovers, they speak for themselves.
Dude, like, look, if you watch his game, he gets burned so often, and like, yeah, he makes up for it with an interception here or there, but like, how much does that actually do?
That's what I think.
Give up touchdown after touchdown.
Turnovers are more important.
His one-on-one coverage is actually.
Yeah, I do. Turnovers lead to points every time. It's all scheme too. If he's that good of a corner in that, why wouldn't you give him help over the top, right? Let him take his chances. They have Mike McCarthy as a coach. He's one of the worst coaches in football. I don't understand why they brought him in.
I gotta get rid of him.
It's funny that Cowboys fans hated Jason Garrett, and then they get Mike McCarthy, who lived off of Aaron Rodgers.
No, the thing is, Cowboys fans didn't hate Jason Garrett when he first got there, and we had Tony Romo in that system because he was really good when he first got there. I'm just saying he was. I think he was pretty good in his first few years when he had Tony Romo and that team, that old team that they had, and he was that coach for.
All I was going to say is you don't know what you got till it's gone. Jason Garrett wasn't as bad as they thought, and now they turn over to Mike McCarthy, who lived off of Rodgers with that Super Bowl. Not a big fan of him. I think the Cowboys are a good team, but they don't get it done this week against the Bucs and Brady.
All right, let's move into our Monday Night Football game. We got the Denver Broncos at the Seattle Seahawks. We got the Broncos favored at -6.5. The money line at -270 and the over-under at 44.5. Russ going into his old town in Seattle. What do we think here? Huff, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Give me my boy. Let's ride. Denver Broncos -6.5 coming into Seattle. I think they get the job done pretty easily. Not too much to talk about with the Seattle team anymore. New offense in Denver. Nathaniel Hackett's first year under the helm in Denver. It'll be interesting to see what he has to do with his new toy, Russell Wilson at quarterback. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm gonna ride the ponies all the way up to Seattle. Denver -6 for me.
Yeah, Huff, I'm with you on that one. Broncos country.
Let's ride.
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Yeah, no, definitely 6 points seems like a very strange line to me.
I'm surprised it's not 7.5.
Oof, I'm surprised it's not 9.5. I mean, that Seahawks team has nothing going for them. I was trying to convince myself, what way do the Seahawks stay in this game? Yeah, it's Monday Night Football. They have Pete Carroll, but their trenches are terrible. Their skill players, terrible outside of Lockett and Metcalf. Nobody that can get on the ball. No tight end that I can think of. I know they have Noah Fant, but he's on a new team and always injured. Rashad Penny's going to have to do a lot. He's going to get in the end zone 3 times, and Russ is going to have to forget how to play or use his left hand. I don't know. I see the Broncos scoring over 30 points. I see Drew Lock maybe finding the end zone once. I see a lot of punts coming from that side.
Geno.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're not even Drew Lock, Geno Smith, terrible. I think it's another situation like we have with the Giants. They're really playing for that pick next year. They've already threw in the towel before the year started. Penny's going to come out hot, but like me and Huff were talking about, they're going to run the game slow, so that over isn't something I would want to touch. Even a team total over I wouldn't want to touch, but I do like the Broncos with the points. They're going to beat them by multiple touchdowns. Don't get it twisted. They'll find the end zone at least 3 times. I'm going to say 3 to 5. Seahawks will be lucky to touch that paint once.
Yeah, give me Denver -6.
I could see the score being there like 34-10.
Yeah.
I like that score. I think Denver's going to kick ass this game. It's going to be a good one. All right, I think that's going to do it for our week 1 analysis. It is time for week 1. Expect on all social media platforms our picks for week 1. On Thursday, we're going to have some picks coming out. Definitely on Sunday, possibly some more on Monday. So make sure you keep an eye out on those. But that's all I got. Huff, what are you thinking?
Yeah, not much else coming from me. Definitely excited to be wrapping up week 1. Now it's just time to watch some football this weekend and make some money. So stay tuned to all the social media platforms. Going to have all the picks coming out by noon on Sunday for the Sunday slate. Tomorrow night, a little bit before kickoff, hopefully by like 7:30, we'll get the plays out. But
hopefully a team pick tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we definitely got one. Stay tuned to the social media for what we're going to go with tomorrow night. But yeah, it's going to do it for me. See you guys next week.
Hit the book, nations.
Let's ride.
No, like I said, we've given you a good look at our picks throughout the whole podcast, but definitely check back to our socials. I know the boys were really hot last year. That wrote it with college football and other sports. We're ready to go for this NFL season. This is what we're here for. This is what we're ready to do. This is how we think all year long. We're ready to go this week 1. We'll have a pick for you tomorrow. We know everybody wants to throw on the first game of the year. Defending champs versus the hottest team in the league of the summer Super Bowl champs against the defending champs. I wonder who will win. So be on the lookout for that, and then our big picks will be coming this weekend. So ready to roll, ready to watch.
Started college football 2-0, looking to start NFL hot as well. Stay tuned for the team card, individual cards, everything like Ace said. Stay tuned to the social media. See you guys next week.
Yeah, that's all I got this week. Excited for week 1. We've been waiting for this for a while now, so stay tuned for picks.
See you next week. Keep in touch over the weekend. That's all we got.
Peace.
And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.